court draw nigh, and ye shall be heard. God bless the United States, this state, and this court. You may be seated.
All right, good morning, everyone. Let me turn my speaker on.
Recording in progress.
I'm just making sure we're on the same page.
Well, it's going to fill up a whole pad with exhibits, but let me see where I have. I think that was 150. What was 157?
157 was the map.
The map. All right.
The way Daniel and McCormick drove home. Daniel driving home. That's what they're out into it. So that's what it shows.
All right, everyone. Are we anything we need to address before we bring the jury back? Then we are ready for the jury. Good morning again, ladies and gentlemen. You may be seated. You can tell by the looks on your faces you're excited to be here, and I would just want to remind you that it was your idea to start at 8 o'clock. I'm just trying to accommodate you. So, all right. And we are ready for the state to call its next witness.
Speak on Jenny Jones.
Come up, please, ma'am, if you will. I'm going to ask you to step around, raise your right hand, and face our clerk.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give in this case be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Yes.
And if you will, please speak loudly enough for the gentleman standing in the back of the room to be able to hear what you're saying, all right?
Okay.
Good morning, Ms. Jones.
Good morning.
Will you state your first and last name for the court, please?
Jenny Jones,
Thank you. And will you spell your first and last name?
JENNYJONES.
Thank you. And thank you for getting up early this morning to be with us. Try to get you out of here as quick as possible, okay?
Okay.
Ms. Jones, in April of 2018, what did you do for a living?
Bail bonds.
Bail bonding?
Mhm.
And just kind of briefly, what does a bail bonding person do?
Just post bail for someone in jail.
Okay, so you write or authorize a bond to get somebody out of jail.
Right.
And on the evening of April the 3rd of 2018, did you go to Williamson County to write a bond for
I
someone?
did.
Okay, and do you remember the name of that person?
I don't.
Okay. Do you know about what time you went to Williamson County Jail?
Probably around 10:30, 11 o'clock.
PM?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And after you wrote the bond for the person in jail, what did you do then?
I took her to her house,
Okay.
and we had to wait for someone to bring a key for her to get in because she was locked out. Then I went back to Dixon.
Okay. So just to kind of give a general idea of time frame, you think it was around 10:30 or 11 when you wrote the bond?
Mm-hmm.
And that's in Williamson County?
Right.
Which is the county south of Dixon County?
Yes,
And after you wrote the bond, did you go to a gas station?
I did.
Okay. Was the person that you bonded riding with you?
I don't think so. I think I'd already took her home.
You'd already taken her home? And so did you go to her home before you went to get gas in Franklin or after?
Before.
Okay. So you got gas first?
No, I took her home first and then went by the store.
Okay. And when you are coming back to Dixon County, well, first, where did you live at the time?
Garner's Creek Road. Garner's Creek Road.
Was it 1450 Garner's Creek
Mhm.
Road?
Yes.
And when you were driving home, tell us how you got home. What roads?
Highway 70 from Franklin all the way, 96 to 70.
So you left Williamson County on Highway 96.
Mhm.
96, does that intersect with Highway 70?
Yes, it does.
And then you went towards McEwen on Highway 70?
Hmm.
And then you took a left on Garner's Creek Road?
Yes.
And then were you traveling south on Garner's Creek?
Yes.
Okay. And as you were traveling south on Garner's Creek Road, did you observe something?
Yes.
What did you observe?
Someone standing on the bridge.
Okay. Someone standing on a bridge.
Mhm.
And tell us a little bit more about the bridge as far as what was on the side of the road. What else did you observe?
It's just it's a dry creek bed under the bridge.
Okay.
Someone was just standing there on the east side of the road against the guardrail.
On the east side of the road,
Mhm.
against the guardrail.
Mhm.
Was there a utility pole close to that
I
location?
believe so.
All right. Now, the first thing I want you to look at is a map on the screen. And I'm also going to hand you a smaller copy of that map, okay? Ms. Jones, you testified you were traveling southbound on Garner Street Road,
Yes,
and you lived at the time at 1450 Garner Street Road.
correct.
And you can't see it in detail from this map, but approximately here, there's a guardrail and a bridge.
Mm-hmm.
And did you say the bridge goes over a dry creek bed?
Yes.
And somewhere on this bridge, next to the guardrail, is where you observed someone standing?
Mm-hmm.
And about what time was that?
I think it was probably about 1:30.
About 1:30? Okay. And does the map that you're holding look like the one on the screen?
Yes.
I'll pass that as the next exhibit, please. Okay, Ms. Jones, does this appear to be the bridge, guardrail, utility pole headed southbound on Garner's Creek?
Yes.
And when you get to this point, about how far are you from your residence?
Probably a half a mile.
A half mile. And on this photograph, guardrail over here, is that correct? Utility pole? And where, and I'll point to the place you tell me, where did you see a person standing?
By that utility pole.
Right here?
Mm-hmm.
Now, were they on, which side of the guardrail were they on?
They were on this side.
Nearest the road?
Yeah.
Okay. So, in between the road and the guardrail, or on the road?
In between the road and the guardrail.
And right at this utility pole?
Mm-hmm.
And you're driving southbound, and it's approximately 1:30.
Right.
And does the photograph I'm handing you look like the one we see on the screen?
Yes, it does.
I'll move that as the next exhibit.
159.
And Ms. Jones, at some point, excuse me, at some point you called the Dixon County Dispatch Center and made a report of this observation, is that correct?
Yes.
You remember what day you made your report?
Maybe a couple of days after.
Okay.
After that.
I want to give you a chance, and you actually provided a written statement, is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
I'll give you a chance to read over your written statement before I ask some questions about it. Take this from you. You ready? Okay, so on the night of April 3rd, it says that you were driving home and you went to Franklin, Tennessee to make a bond, is that correct?
Yes.
And you left there and you made 2 stops, is that correct?
Yes.
We have the wrong thing.
Take that down. You made 2 stops
Yes.
and then you went from Highway 96 to Highway 70
Correct.
and then from 70 to Garner's Creek.
Correct.
And then what did you observe?
Someone standing on the bridge.
Okay. And did you make an observation as to what the person was wearing?
Yes.
What were they wearing?
It was a multicolored shirt and red shorts.
Okay. And in your written statement, do you note the time that or the date that you called law enforcement to report this?
After I had seen the
Early morning hours of the 4th, you see this on Garner's Creek, and a couple of days goes by, and in that couple of days, do you observe something on the news?
yes,
And it makes you call and make this report. And what do you report exactly, who you observed?
Mr. Daniels.
Joseph Daniels?
Yes, sir.
And you observed him standing on this location in a colorful shirt and red shorts?
Yes.
Okay. I'd ask that her statement be made the next exhibit, please.
Marking is exhibit 160.
I'll pass the witness.
Cross-examination. Cross-examination.
Ms. Jones, who was the gentleman that was following behind you?
I didn't know there was anyone behind me.
So there wasn't another person that went to Ginger's?
No, not that I'm aware of.
All right. And you viewed the report, was it the 9th that you made the report?
I don't know for sure.
Your Honor, may I see that exhibit?
As soon as the clerk finishes processing.
All right. All right, you signed this statement on April the 23rd of 2018,
Right.
and is that close in time to when you called it in?
It was just a few days after the 4th.
And isn't it true that you didn't call it in until after you had seen Joseph Daniels' picture on TV?
Correct.
And I assume by April 23rd, you had heard quite a bit about this case.
Yeah.
Did you see the man you say was Mr. Daniels? Did you see him doing anything?
Just standing there.
Did you see a vehicle?
No, I didn't.
Did you see him at any time carrying a deceased child?
No, sir, I did not.
I assume that you took law enforcement and showed them exactly where you saw him.
Yes.
All right. And when did you take law enforcement?
I can tell you the exact date. I don't remember.
Would it have been within a few days of the child going missing?
Yes.
The man that you saw, did he look at you?
No, I don't think so. He was just perfectly still standing there. Looking
I believe, haven't you said before that he never looked at you or faced you?
Well, I mean, I was driving by. I don't know. I looked at him. I couldn't tell you if he looked at me or not. I don't know.
So you don't know if you could see his face?
I seen his face, yes.
All right, if he's not looking toward you, how would you see his face?
Well, I don't know. I just drove by him and I glanced over at him.
So you drove by, glanced over, and if he didn't look at your direction?
I couldn't tell you if he was looking. He was looking in my direction, yes.
Oh, now he was looking in your direction?
He was standing there looking straight ahead.
Are you sure? Because you just said that you didn't know if he looked in your direction.
I'm positive he was looking in my direction.
All right, so he wasn't just standing there looking over the guardrail.
His back was to the guardrail.
His back was to the guardrail?
Yes.
Did you not testify that he was standing there looking over the guardrail?
Mm-mm.
No? Did you say in your statement that he looked toward you and you saw his face?
I don't know if I put that in my statement or not.
Well, if that happened, you would have put it in there, wouldn't you?
I guess so.
So maybe he didn't look at you.
He was looking straight ahead. Like I said, I was doing 30 miles an hour when I went by him. He was facing the road, so he was looking in my direction.
So you're saying now you did see his face?
Yeah.
Was he wearing any type of hoodie, sweatshirt type thing?
I couldn't tell if it was a hoodie or not. I just know it was multicolored.
And what were the colors?
White, red, blue.
All right. And it may have been a hoodie.
I guess it could have been.
Okay. Did you stop to ask this person if they needed any help?
No, I did not.
And where he was standing, anybody else driving by there could have seen him too, is that correct?
Right.
Right. And you don't remember a man following you that also went to Ginger's?
I do not. There was no one following me.
Ma'am, you didn't see anybody, did you?
I didn't see anybody following me.
And you didn't see anybody standing at the guardrail, did you?
Yes, sir, I did.
And today, you're testifying falsely under oath, aren't you?
No.
Well, you've testified he was looking right at you.
He was facing the roads, all I know.
And didn't you just testify that he was looking at you, that his face was in your direction?
Yes.
May I approach? I'll ask you to look at what's highlighted in the statement that you gave back 3 years ago. What does it say?
He was standing perfectly still and never looked at me as I drove past him.
All right. So he didn't look at you like you just testified earlier.
Sir, he was just standing there looking straight ahead is all I can tell you. I don't know if he looked at me or if he was looking at a tree or what. I don't know.
When you've testified that he looked at you,
He was looking straight ahead is all I can tell you.
and you may have had a hoodie on and you saw white, red, and blue. Any other colors than that you saw?
Not that I recall.
Okay. Your Honor, I'll request a jury out.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you'll step out.
Who was running the bonding agency at that time?
Ginger Vineyard.
And did you take a necklace that belonged to her and later return it to her?
No, I found a necklace of hers while I was cleaning her house.
And you kept it for some time, didn't you?
No, it was returned to her the very same night.
The very same night?
Yeah.
And did you provide your phone to law enforcement so they could check your phone?
I don't know if I did or not. I don't think they ever asked me for my phone.
And did you have some porn sites stored on your phone?
Porn sites?
Yes.
Not that I'm aware of.
About girl having sex with horse?
What in the world does this have to do with anything?
Your Honor, there's case law that says you can cross-examine with crimes of moral turpitude.
Judge, I'd ask Mr. Locker to provide that case law.
Yeah, certainly. Provide the case law and we'll consider it, but I'm not aware of any basis upon which you can cross-examine someone about the fact that they may or may not have had some sort of pornographic site on their phone, unless it directly relates to the crime that they are charged with or to some issue about their testimony. What I'm not understanding is how that relates to what Ms. Jones is testifying to. I understand you're trying to show that to the jury.
Does Your Honor want me to go look the case up now or finish my out-of-jury questions?
Let you finish your out-of-jury questions first.
All right. And so you're denying that you had websites stored on your phone, girlfuckshot.horse.com.
Not that I know of. No.
Well, you'd know, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I would know.
And did you?
Not that I know of.
All right. You're saying you'd know.
I don't know. I don't know that any site was on my phone like that. That's nuts.
All right,
to
I
me.
believe that's sufficient. This court does not find any of that information relevant or admissible under the rules of evidence or cross-examination of this witness and orders that you not ask that question in front of the jury. And there's no
That's why I did
evidence-
a jury out, Your Honor, to make sure.
Pardon, that's fine.
Yeah.
Judge, I still would like to see the case law or Mr.
Well, I'm not gonna worry about case law because I don't believe that the case law regarding whatever Mr. Lockhart was proposing has anything to do with this witness's testimony, and that's cross-examining someone about some aspect of their life may have, some relevance to if it directly relates to what they're testifying about or to their character and showing some other reason why you can cross-examine someone under the rules of evidence. But this court is of the opinion those questions that were asked of this witness do not meet that criteria, and for that reason, I'm restricting the questioning to eliminate those matters.
Yes, Your Honor. I will supplement the record with the cases just for appellate purposes.
That is fine. All right, bring the jury back. Ms. Jones, I would ask when the jury returns and you're testifying, if you'll keep your chairs still and just kind of move up towards that microphone a little bit so instead of leaning back away, please.
Okay.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. You may be seated. All right, Mr. Lockhart, you may continue.
If you were advised that Mr. Daniels' cell phone location was never in that area, would you think maybe you made a mistake in this case?
No.
No? Nothing further.
Mr. Crouch.
Ms. Jones, can you see my face?
Yes.
Am I looking at you?
No.
Have further questions?
Any redirect or recross, rather?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you, Ms. Jones. You may step down. Are we releasing her from her subpoena?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. State may call your next witness.
State Calls Agent Joey Boyd.
Agent Boyd, if you'll step up, please raise your right hand and face our clerk to be placed under oath.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give in this case to be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Will you state your full name for the record, please?
Joey Boyd,
Thank you. And will you spell your first and last name?
Joeyboyd,
And Agent Boyd, where are you employed?
Tennessee Bureau of Investigation.
Thank you. And how long have you been an agent with the TBI?
Almost at 9 years.
9 years, thank you. You were working for the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation in April of 2018,
Yes, that's correct.
and were you assigned to come to Dixon County for a case investigating Mr. Joseph Daniels?
Yes, I was.
And when you were first assigned, tell us what you were dispatched to go to.
On April 4th of 2018, I was asked to come down and assist with an endangered child alert that was being conducted in Dixon County. My first assignment upon arriving later that day was I was attached to a team of U.S. Marshals to go and check sex offenders in the area.
Okay. And did you assist the U.S. Marshals with conducting sex offender checks?
Yes, I did.
And do you know approximately how many residences you visited?
That day alone, I would probably estimate 6 or 7.
All right. Did you have any other assignments than the sex offender checks on April the 4th?
No, sir, not on April 4th.
All right. The following day, April the 5th, Joe Clyde Daniels was still missing. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And what was your assignment on April the 5th?
April the 5th, I don't recall any specific assignments. I believe we were standing by in case there were any other residences that needed to be searched and looked at regarding the endangered child alert. But most of that day I was spent in the command post with supervisors and other investigators discussing the that we could pursue. I believe there was also a NCMEC representative, the National Center for Missing and Endangered Exploited Children. There was a representative there. We were discussing potential leads.
Thank you. Then let's go into the day of April the 6th. What was your assignment on that day?
Agent Ronnie Faulkner had arrived at the command post. I met with him. We were asked to meet with Joseph Daniels at the Dixon City Police Department.
Okay. And on April the 6th, at about what time did you meet with the defendant at the Dixon Police Department?
I'd estimate it was between 3 and 5 p.m. on April the 6th.
Was the defendant transported to the Dixon Police Department?
No, sir. The defendant drove himself, along with his wife, Crystal, to the police department.
Okay. And did you conduct an interview with the defendant?
Yes, I did.
Was he Mirandized before the interview?
Yes, he was.
And was he there voluntarily?
Yes, he was.
Was he free to leave at any time?
Yes, he was.
He didn't have to come down there.
No, sir.
All right. And did you make a recording of this interview?
Yes, we did.
And, Your Honor, at this time, I'm going to play the recording. And, Judge, before we do, and I hate to ask this, but could we have just a quick jury out?
Ladies and gentlemen, there's one issue I need to take up before you share this tape, so if you'll step back for a moment.
Judge, a great deal of time has been spent redacting this recording and providing a redacted transcript, and I just want to get on the record that the defense has reviewed both the transcript and the recording before we go any further.
Is that correct?
We have not reviewed the transcript.
Well, it's we provided a redacted transcript several weeks ago for the defense to review, and that's agreeable?
That is agreeable. We made requests, and those requests will change tonight.
Mr. Mitchell, if you want to say anything, come to the podium.
Yes, we made requests that there were changes, and those changes were made. I believe we were given the redacted video on a thumb drive yesterday.
There were some requests from the defense as to some changes in the transcript. There was one change that we did not make. The defense had requested us to add back in a portion of the polygraph where Mr. Daniels recites his medication. So when we got that request, it's in a portion of the transcript that it would be untimely for us to do that. And it would also be very odd to add that section back in. It would be obvious that something else was occurring other than an interview.
Can't the defense ask the agent on cross-examination whether Mr. Daniels at some point recited the medications that he was on and elicit that testimony that way rather than... What everyone's trying to do is to avoid the jury being made aware of the fact that there was initially a polygraph examination. That's the reason he came down there. I understand that's the reason that the state is trying to be careful and make sure that the transcript has been redacted to ensure that there's no reference to that, and that the video has been altered to make sure that there's no mention of that. Am I correct?
That's correct, Judge.
All right, and we've had pretrial rulings on all of these issues, and everybody agrees the polygraph is a totally inadmissible issue, and I'm just trying to make sure that we don't stumble into some sort of a problem with adding into that transcript something that the jury then can't see.
Well, Your Honor, that part is a vital part of our defense, the medication he tells him that he's on. We can ask the agent about that, but we're going to have an opportunity to watch the redacted video to make sure nothing is inadvertently taken out.
A 4-hour video. Is
Well,
that
Your
how
Honor,
long it is?
the length of the video doesn't,
I'm just asking the question.
it's longer than that, I believe.
The redacted version is about 2 hours and 34 minutes.
Okay.
Do you have any other witnesses you can call before we play this video?
We have other witnesses available, but, I mean, it does alter the presentation of that case. But Judge, here's the thing, we provided this redaction weeks ago to the defense. There's no reason to just now.
Are you saying you gave us the redacted video weeks ago?
Transcript.
Oh, I agree. We've had the transcript, but I can't look at the transcript and see what they may have inadvertently left on or off. We know they inadvertently didn't put his medication.
No, you just asked for that yesterday.
All right,
Yesterday.
we will take a recess and we will allow Mr. Lockhart to watch the redacted video. And then when we are concluded with that, we will bring the jury back in and we will play the video, assuming there's no objection to it. So I would prefer to have taken this up after hours or some other time so that the jury's not cooling its heels back there in the back, but we will we'll allow you to do it because I think to do otherwise creates some issues. So, all right, we will stand in recess to allow Mr. Lockhart and Mr. Mitchell and Mr. Taylor to view the redacted video. Are you going to view it here on the large screen, or are you going to view it on your laptop, or how you wish to do that?
If we can just play it on a laptop in our little cubby hole.
All right. We will stand in recess until that time.
All
Recording
right.
stopped.
Court is at recess.
I need Kayline's menu if he wants lunch. Kayline, I need you to do a menu, okay? It's a body cut. Oh, okay. First I come to Ginger's body cut. There's no longer. Okay, because this way it's Ginger. It's Ginger's body. Would you like to make this like more? Tell the